Yo, what's good my fellow Imaginites? It is your boy DEADMANVINCE back with yet another JJK Phantom Parade video. Today we're going to be talking about the yellow units that you should be working on in preparation for Curse Sweep Battle, the game mode that unlocks the hidden potential system and everything that's in the Japanese version of the game that we will be getting a lot faster than the Japanese version had to wait for it. It took a year for it to get to the Japanese version, whereas they have been speed ramping things in global a lot. So it seems that we'll probably be getting it during like the half anniversary or something. It wasn't linked to the anniversary per se because it came after the anniversary. Like it didn't come out whenever all the anniversary characters were releasing, like Gojo and Sukuna and Yuji and who's the last one? Sukuna was the last one. Yeah, but it wasn't linked to all that stuff. Literally, it was after the anniversary was all said and done, then they dropped that new game mode, like in January. It's like a month after, right? With that, we are probably going to be getting that game mode at month 6 versus 1 year because it seems that they are trying to push the games as close as possible and sync them up as fast as possible. I was actually going to do a video on my blue team because it was the green team, the reds. I did the green team first because that's the team that I completed first. I did the red team second because that team is the most complete in my opinion, and Gojo will be the first person that I summoned for during the anniversary. I did not have all the yellow team units, but now I do. So I thought I'd go ahead and just do the yellow team next. I try to focus these videos in order of how many units do I have already from the team, because I like to do a little test session at the end of the video to let you guys know how the team performs. But rather I'd like to go ahead and so that's why I like to go ahead and make sure I have as many units from the team as possible, because if I tell you a team idea that I have and I'm using like 3 different units that aren't even a part of the team, then it's kind of like, what's the point of really doing the team test? But this is actually like bar for bar my yellow team that I dreamed of, thought of, you know what I'm saying, worked for, and now it is finally here. So this is a very special video for me. It's no different for you, I guess, watching all my other videos. This was just special to me because Yaga was the last character that I needed to summon to be completely done summoning for characters in general before the half anniversary. So I just wanted to give myself a little clap for that because I got Yaga. I'm not even gonna tell you how I got Yaga. The live stream is on my channel. I literally summoned on JJK Phantom Parade that day. I summoned on Dokkan that day. It was just a crazy day for summons in general. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and go through each one of these characters. I feel like maybe I haven't done good enough of a job of talking about their skill breakdowns and everything. And also, instead of waiting till all the way at the end of the video, I'm gonna tell you what their pages do right now while we're looking over the team, just because it makes more sense for that. So guys, I'm gonna do this a little differently this time. I'm gonna show you the skills in game just so you can see where my skills are at, and then I'll just kind of like remind you of what the level 10 effect is, you know, because I have it pulled up off to the side over here. I just feel like it's a lot funner to look at the game versus, or it's a lot prettier, I guess, more pleasing to look at the game versus looking at the actual wiki. But his skill 1 is on level 3 for me. It is a basic attack skill. I'm not that worried about it. It's literally just melee damage to one enemy. If you get it to level 10, is 150% melee damage. Now, one thing that I did see about the hidden potential update is they did not cheap out and just give hidden potential systems to the SSR characters. I saw that an SR character had a hidden potential system, and honestly, I'm gonna log into my Japanese account just to see if rare characters also have access to the hidden potential system as well, but I imagine they would, because literally the hidden potential system is just like a screen on this page, and if you are a Dokkan player, then you already have an idea of how the hidden potential system works, but you know that the hidden potential system is only for a specific rarity of character, which it seems like JJK Phantom Parade, they don't care about that. Any character can get the work, and man, it would be crazy, like kind of how Dokkan has sub EZAs. It would be kind of crazy if we got like sub limit breaks where like, okay, this SSR Nanami got a crazy full limit break, as in his skills are being upgraded as well, not just extra stats. Okay, cool. Let's give the SR Nanami, who's a buffer, also an extra little buff on this skill or that skill or something like that, right? I feel like the SR characters can be implemented in a way where they work on them, or SRs and rares can be implemented in a way where they work on them kind of like in a shadow manner. Like they work on the bigger characters, and characters of the same name with the lower rarities, like, okay, we'll give you this, okay, we'll give you this, and just do it piece by piece. But yeah, first skill, basic attack, not really too worried about it. Second skill, applies 28.2% damage taken decreased to all allies for 1 turn for a total of 1 time 3 turns. Wait, I'm sorry. I feel like I butchered that. 28.2% damage taken decrease to target ally. I'm sorry, not all allies. Target ally for 1 time for 3 turns. So it stacks for 3 turns. You can only give it to 1 ally though. So automatic, one way they could improve this Kaito is if they made this a barrier for everybody. But Kaito would possibly be too perfect of a rare character at that point. I will go ahead and say, guys, you may be looking at this like, why are you planning on using a rare character for content that's going to be coming out way later? Like, when do you want to bolster your roster, blah 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 blah. Okay, this Kaito is a rare character, but there is a very good reason for that. He is a rare character because he essentially allows you to play the game however you want to. In this game, you need cursed energy to do anything before you get to your ultimate move. So without cursed energy, you are kind of a sitting duck and you can only use your basic skills, which usually only have a very basic effect of just doing damage or just doing this one thing or just doing this one thing, versus other skills that have the capability to do multiple things on their one skill stacked together. So it's always nice to have cursed energy just to have the option to use those extra skills. Kaito's skill 3, mine is at level 8, which is crazy because I think I got this to level 8 when I started the game, and it's just been sitting there. I need to stop playing games and get it to level 10 and just fully commit. But honestly, I don't have the JP to do it right now. But applies cursed energy recovery, recovering 17 cursed energy every turn to all allies other than self for 2 turns. Now guys, you naturally recover 10 cursed energy on your turn, and I made sure to look and pay attention. You do not get 27 cursed energy whenever this is in effect. You get 17 cursed energy. So I believe that the cursed energy that you would naturally regenerate, there we go, for the turn is replaced by a higher value versus this being an additive thing. But the nice thing about this skill is it goes up to 19, so that's nearly double the cursed energy you would typically get, and you can stack this for 2 turns. So you can have 1 turn, if you can get this back to back, you can have 1 turn where all of your allies are recovering 38 cursed energy, 19 plus 19, yeah, then those turns are massive. Then his ultimate is just absolutely wonderful support. It applies 108% curse technique increase to all allies other than self for a total of 1 time in 3 turns. And actually, I just thought about something incredible. Guys, I'm gonna go ahead and just like spoiler alert you. The original person who was supposed to be the DPS for this team was going to be Zone Yuji, and yes, I understand that means saving an extra bit of cubes to not only summon for domain expansion Gojo and Sukuna, because they're the actual anniversary characters. Yuji is an anniversary character, yes, but he comes out in the first part of the anniversary, like as soon as it starts, and then you see Gojo and you're like, why did I summon for Yuji? And the thing about Yuji was, I thought Yuji was this incredible, like, groundbreaking character because he had this new mechanic called Zone. But with the implementation of the hidden potential system, any character that can do a black flash is essentially getting like Zone in their kit. So he's not that special. He does have extra attacks after he does an initial attack, or after he does his ultimate, he can do multiple attacks in 1 turn. But with that being the only thing that makes the Yuji different, he's not as impressive in my opinion. When it was that and the Zone making him more impressive, that's when I was like, okay, he may be a no-brainer to summon for. But the reason why I'm saying all this is because Yuji is a unit that works specifically off of physical damage, and now that I think about it, it's absolutely perfect that I got young Gojo versus Kaito, because Kaito boosts cursed energy with his ultimate, which is only going to help Gojo and not Yuji at all. So that actually just lucked out that I got really lucky on my Gojo summons as well. Like, all of these characters right here were just pure luck being shined down upon me whenever I was summoning for the characters. I paid for that little. Now, Fushiguro wasn't luck. I literally just did the banner where you can do the steps to pay for a character and get the selector ticket. Yaga was pure luck. Watch the summons. Gojo was pure luck. Watch the summons. Nobara, I won't even say that's pure luck. I just summoned so much it was inevitable that I'll get a 5-star of her, and then Yuki's just a rare character. But I digress. The page that we have on Yuki is something else. Since he's a full support, like, it is just something else to give him an extra little bit of damage dealt for the entire team. 35% damage dealt increase to all allies for 1 turn. This is actually really incredible. Even though it's just for 1 turn, you just got to make that 1 turn count. So I love that it's 35% and that it's SR, so it makes it a lot easier to work on. And this right here, you get 200 ultimate gauge for self whenever the battle starts, which is good. It never hurts to build your ultimate faster and faster. Never, never, never hurts. Next character that we're going to be looking at is the man, the myth, the legend, Yaga. So guys, I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. The younger Yaga, younger in the sense that he was in the, no, not even younger, older Yaga, but the SR Yaga is he has a buff that is whenever you use it. Let's see. Sorry, I know what the buff is. I just lost the exact words for it. Physical technique and curse technique increase by 45.8%, I believe. 45.8% for all allies for 4 turns. That includes him as well. It doesn't say self-excluded. Okay, cool. That's a really great buff, and it's also exceptional because it can stack over and over again. But one thing that I don't like is the fact that there are going to be turns where you run out of cursed energy and your turns just are staggered weirdly. And especially if you're not running Yuki on your team. I just so happen to be running Yuki on my team. But if you're not running Yuki on your team, it's very easy for Yaga's cursed energy to run out because you are not going to be using that basic skill. You're going to be spamming that buff skill over and over and over again. This Yaga is so incredible because where this does not stack, this is permanent, this is always there, and is 0.2% higher. So it's a 46% physical and curse technique applied to all allies at the start of every turn for one time, every turn. So it's always there. Literally the only way for an enemy to get rid of this debuff is, or this buff is for them to kill your Yaga. So that already improves him greatly. I also watched a Lord Slug video. Y'all already knew I was gonna bring the homie up. I was watching a Lord Slug video during one of his live streams actually, and I looked. I'm sorry, I'm not cutting that out of the video. Drink more water. But I looked and he did a damage test with Red Yaga, SR Yaga versus this Yaga. And I did the math for how much more damage he actually got. He got 75% more damage. And I'm pretty sure the event was not type advantage against like yellow units. So it wasn't just like, oh, he's type advantage, better results. Because he's not even the one doing the damage, right? But this Yaga has all debuffs instead. So instead of passively actively trying to buff the team, he is passively buffing the team always, so you can actively fine-tune your debuff experience on the enemies depending on what you need. And not all missions in the game you can debuff enemies, but in the Curse Sweep battle you can. So he is looking to make the damage absolutely phenomenal, and he's one of those kind of like debuffers that has that wording that's like, oh, this works even more so for yellow type characters. So let's look over the skills. Skill 1. Deals melee attack damage to target enemy equal to 133.4% of physical technique and applies 11.1 crit resistance decrease to them for 2 turns. Now that's actually not that crazy, but at least he has something extra on his basic skill anyway, because this is a this is a debuff character, so you're going to be wanting to use those debuffs a lot. So it helps that even though it's not the craziest of debuffs, that even when you're strapped for cursed energy, which we probably won't be because of Kaito on the team, when you're strapped for cursed energy, it's nice to know that you can still get some form of debuff out on the enemy. Then we look at skill 2. Deals ranged attack hybrid damage to target enemies equal to 133.4% of physical technique and 33.4% of curse technique, and applies 38.9 physical technique decrease to them for 1 turn. And Tsukamoto attacks ignoring its own darkness. So if you have darkness, it doesn't matter. Tsukamoto can ignore that. This skill I'm not 100% on. Not to say that you don't fight physical type enemies in the game. It's just a lot less common than, cursed energy type of enemies in the game. Because, you're literally fighting cursed spirits, cursed users. And it's not often that you find a cursed user with a technique that bolsters their physical traits versus their actual just technique itself. Still, nonetheless, a decent skill. The real skill that you're trying to work on here is skill 3. You see that paragraph right there? Deals ranged attack damage to target enemies equal to 144.8% of curse technique and has 94.1% chance to apply darkness to them for 1 turn. So nearly a 100% chance to apply darkness, which makes the enemy blind, which means that they can't hit you. Applies 28.8% physical technique damage taken increase to them for 2 turns, and applies 15.8% co-attribute physical technique damage taken increase to them for 3 turns. So 28.8% physical technique damage increase to them for 3 turns, and an additional 15.8% if you're yellow and attacking them. So that is, oh dude, quick math, 44.6%. 44.6% physical damage taken increase when he's already giving them physical and curse technique up. Ooh, that's toxic. All right. Then it's the same thing for physical technique damage taken increase as well, 28.8 plus the extra 15.8 if you're yellow and attacking. and deals ranged attack hybrid damage to them equal to 231.6% physical technique and 144.8% curse technique. 2 hits in total. Chirk and Underwear Panda attack ignoring their own darkness. So if they have darkness, it doesn't matter. And at level 10, I'm sorry, Yaga's skill 1 at level 10, it deals 180% damage instead of 133%, and the crit resistance debuff goes to 15% as opposed to 11.1. The skill 2, those 2 skills really didn't seem like very important skills for this Yaga, so I kind of just breezed over them. This skill, again, from 133 to 180%. The Jujutsu damage is from 33 to 45%, and the Taijutsu damage decrease goes from 38.9% to 52.6%. And guys, again, I'm not saying that every enemy in the game is a cursed energy enemy. Geez, a lot of similar sounding words. Not every enemy in the game is a cursed energy enemy, but when you do have a physical enemy, this is going to be very helpful. This skill is already level 9 for me, so 1 more level on this skill, and I imagine... Okay, so the darkness doesn't go up to 90, it doesn't go up to 100%. It goes to 97.8%. So not fully there, but it's whatever. 150% Taijutsu damage to a selected enemy. And then, what did I just say? 44.6% if you add it all up together. So it goes up to 30.2% for just anybody. Extra Taijutsu damage received and Jujutsu damage received on the enemy, and then for yellow units specific, or for yellow attacks specifically, an extra 16.5% to Taijutsu and Jujutsu damage received. So that adds up actually to 46.7, which pretty much matches up with the buff that he's giving the team. So you're getting a 46% attack and curse, or physical and curse technique attack up, and then you're literally making them take an additional 46% curse technique and physical technique damage. So and also one other thing that I want to point out, that video I watched from Slug, I believe Yaga was a newer character, like just dropped type of character. That's why he was doing like a quick damage test just to see. And you got to consider the fact that if SR Yaga is a SR character and you have access to him way earlier, you're going to work on him way sooner, especially him being as good as he is. Because just because yellow Yaga came out doesn't mean that this Yaga, the red Yaga goes away, because the red, sometimes, like I said, you cannot debuff. So sometimes Yaga just buffing straight up helps out, right? But the fact that this Yaga can output 75% more damage for your team, or get your team to output 75% more damage, or Gojo specifically, the fact that he can do that, considering that he's a new character, it won't be as worked on as an older character. So that means that the red Yaga was more than likely closer to max than the yellow Yaga, and the yellow Yaga, just with his kit being the way it is, was naturally giving more damage. That's why this Yaga is so important to me, and that's why I think it's going to make or break a lot of people's experience. That's why I think he's the last good character that you should be summoning before Anniversary. The ultimate is also pretty gnarly as well. Deals ranged attack hybrid damage to all enemies equal to 733.4% physical technique and 220.2% of curse technique. Applies 34.8 co-attribute physical technique damage taken, increase to them for 4 turns, and 34.8% co-attribute curse technique damage taken, increase to them for 4 turns. And applies 20.9 damage dealt increase to all allies other than self for 4 turns. So this Yaga is quite literally like the godliest support for a yellow team I think you could really have. Like, that's not an exaggeration, I don't think. Right now mine's ultimate is only at level 3. I typically get all the skills to level 3 as a baseline, but at level 100, goodness, at level 10, deals range combined damage of 1200, basically 1199.3% Taijutsu and 360 Jujutsu to all enemies. Increases all enemies Taijutsu damage received by 51.6%, and Jujutsu damage is the same, 51.6%. That's effective for yellow type attacks. Increases all allies damage by 30.2%. That does not matter if you're yellow or not. Everybody just gets the damage dealt increase. Then Kathy ignores darkness when attacking, and then critical rate, 30% chance to hit a crit with the first 1 through 5 hits, a 60% chance to crit on the 6th hit. It's so weird that they don't have crit rate as a stat on characters, so now it's like you have to be very specific about when is the crit coming in the skill, it's really weird. But still, just a very phenomenal debuff set. Also a very good consistent buff, you know, I love it. And I like to get characters like this to 2-star at the very least. I kind of just took my luck from the heavens and said, yo, I'm not summoning any deeper anymore. I'm gonna just take what I can get and be happy with it. His page is Reunion After the Rain. I chose this page because part of me wants to do this. You know what? I don't care. I'll do it for the video. Hype me up. It's like the video for that. Like the video for Deadman using his only memory reel. But now that this page is 3 stars, actually, this gives yellow attribute damage dealt, or no. All allies, if they're yellow, their damage is going to deal 25% more damage. And that's specific to, so you got to think, 35% damage dealt increase from this, then an additional 25% specifically because they're yellow units. That's going to be a lot of extra damage you're getting on the table. Also considering this man's ultimate, then Yaga's ultimate. So these two are like I think these two are probably going to be like the godliest like buff slash debuff combo in the game for a little while. The secondary effect of this skill right here is whenever you launch a black flash or land a critical hit, applies 30% crit rate increase to self for 2 turns and applies 25% crit damage increase to self for 2 turns. This part is absolutely useless for Yaga, I will admit. But it's just that giving everybody extra damage just for them being yellow, I think that works really well on him, and I'm just going to keep it there. Next up, the man, the myth, the legend. Y'all all know what this man Fushiguro does. I actually didn't have Fushiguro for a good little while, and like I was saying, that little page selector ticket and everything, as soon as I saw that, I hopped on that opportunity and got my Fushiguro. So here we are. I'm going to go over his domain first, actually, because that's the most important skill. Oh, also, guys, in priority of how you level up the skills, for Yuki, I would say level up his skill 3 the most, because that is going to change your experience of play the most. Having more cursed energy is going to change your experience the most. Then the ultimate afterwards. The reason why I don't say do the ultimate first, because even though the ultimate is very impactful and very good, this is the skill that you're going to be spamming most of the time before you get to Yuki's ultimate. I prioritize skills based on how hard am I spamming this skill in relation to other skills. Now, Fushiguro is different because his domain is so important, it doesn't matter what skills you have to spam. You're just trying to get to the domain expansion as fast as you possibly can, and boom, shit just changes in battle, right? But for Kaito Yuki, we're going to say skill 3 first, then the ultimate, then the skill 2 just because it gives you a little extra defense on a character of your choice, and then his basic skill. For Yaga is going to be the skill 3. That one's definitely going to be the most impactful. I'd say this one next. Then I guess you can do this one next if you wanted to. Like I said, it's not very often you fight physical technique enemies. I'd probably just level this up simply due to the fact that I'm going to have to use it a lot because I'm going to be using his... Well, no, I won't. I'm going to be using Yuki with him. Who knows? But I probably still use this just because it's nice to save up extra cursed energy so you can spam moves back to back to back to back to back. Because you still have to do that kind of at the... Even when you use Yuki, you have to do that at the start of the fight. You have to start stockpiling the cursed energy so that when you start putting in all the extra implementations of reloading your cursed energy, it just becomes infinite at a certain point. Fushigiro's skill breakup. I say do this skill first, the domain, because that one has a bunch of debuffs to it. Let's see. Applies attack nullification, ultimate gauge, increased nullification, and cursed energy efficiency increased to self. And resets cursed energy to 0 when effect ends. Deals ranged attack damage to target enemies equal to 1,615% of cursed technique damage, 4 hits in total. And has a 100% chance to apply stun to them for 1 turn. And applies 35% damage dealt increase to them. And 45% damage taken, or no. Damage dealt decrease 35%. Damage taken increase 45%. That's to all enemies. So you can see it's a very good, very strong debuffing domain. Then his skill 1 is going to be the second skill you want to level up, because when the domain is active, if you get his skill 1 all the way to level 10, I believe, the enemies take 100% extra damage. Basically 100% extra damage. So where I'm at right now, the skill 1 deals melee attack damage to enemy 167%. He's a special case of a character that you want to work on their first skill very early, just because even though outside of the domain it has no special effect, inside of the domain, instead of it dealing 180% damage at level 10, it deals 300% damage, so an extra 120% damage on top of it. Then also you increase the enemy's damage received by 100% for 3 turns, and that does not say 1 time. So I think that you can just stack that. That's pure evil. That's pure evil. So, domain first, skill 1 second. I would say the skill 2 is probably the next best skill, because I use that one. I use him to farm sometimes, and I like AoEs for farming. It just hits everybody and gets their health worked away a little bit faster. Deals melee attack damage to all enemies equal to 144% physical technique. if you have the domains open. It costs 5 less to do, and consumes 15 cursed energy after the change. This one consumes 15 cursed energy now. What? Okay, on the website it says 10. I think that's a typo. Is that a typo in-game in a character's kit? Yo, did I just discover something? Hold on. This says 25 and then it drops to 20. Okay. Consumes 25 cursed energy after the change. Yo, I don't know if this is like a visual bug, but like, yo, if this is a visual bug and we can get some free something off of this, definitely gas this video up, get some likes on this video so that Billy can see this. But if you look at Fushigero's skills carefully, you can see right here, it says whenever Chimero's Shadow Garden effect is in effect, it says that this skill consumes 15 cursed energy after the change. But that's not true. It only consumes 10 cursed energy. And this skill right here says that it consumes 25 cursed energy after the change, even though it only consumes 20 cursed energy. So Fushiguro quite literally has 2 typos in his kit that are telling us his functions improperly. So, Billy, you might have some compensating to do. Anyway, I think the skill 2, I think after this, the old domain expansion of the skill 1, the skill 2 is going to be the most important one, just because it helps with your farming experience. If you get it with the domain up, deals hybrid damage instead of just physical damage, because of course his curses are there now. And instead of it being 144%, or honestly, let me read it at level 10. Guys, this is confusing for me to read off the wiki and on the game and all that at the same time, but I don't care. At level 10, goodness. At level 10, deals 195% melee damage to all enemies outside of the domain. When inside of the domain, deals melee combined damage equal to 210.5% taijutsu and 210.5% jujutsu to all enemies. Deals 180.4% range jujutsu damage to all enemies. So this doesn't really get any extra effects. It just gets an extra proc of damage on it, and the initial damage increases even more so, which is not bad at all. But like I said, this skill is just really good for whenever you're farming stages, so that's why I like this one so much. Then the skill 3 deals melee. This was a single target. Deals melee attack hybrid damage to target enemies equal to 189% of physical technique and 133.4% curse technique, and applies 20% physical technique damage taken increase to them for 3 turns. The skill effect changes during the domain Chimero's Shadow Garden effect and consumes 25 cursed energy after the change. Deals melee attack hybrid damage to target enemies equal to 333.6% of physical technique and 166.8%. So, quite the sizable jump in damage, yes. Then deals ranged attack damage to them equal to 166.8% of curse technique. Applies 60% physical techniques damage taken increase to them for 2 turns, and has a 100% chance to stun. So the skill 3, really good. Cost a lot. Not an AOE. Still a strong single target. Don't get me wrong. But typically, I think that one can go last. Honestly. Like, it's an incredible skill once you're in the domain, of course. And it's not that bad outside of the domain. The damage is decent, for sure. But I just think the domain and the skill 1 is going to give you much more use, and I think this one's just really good for doing chip damage to multiple enemies and farming stages. I use these characters still in domain investigation. I still do domain investigation, guys, believe it or not. Then the next, and then the page obviously for him is going to be in excellent shape because it starts off and gives you 360 ultimate gauge. Or no, it doesn't. It gives you 360 ultimate gauge whenever you use it. So you use it turn 1, you're well on your way to getting the ultimate. And this right here at the start of a wave applies 25% physical technique damage taken, decrease itself for 3 turns. So it just gives him a little extra tank ability, which is not bad at all. Next up, we got that boy, the myth, the legend. We got young Gojo. We got what's his name? Hidden Inventory, I'm sorry. Hidden Inventory Gojo. Skill 1 is a physical technique type of skill that has curse technique in it as well. It also taunts the enemy. Provocation is taunting, I believe. Yes, I think the eyeball is taunting. Honestly, bro, before I even get into Gojo skills, y'all know how Gojo works. Any Gojo in the game just hits really fucking hard. Like, that's why I have Gojo here. His ultimates are always AoEs that hit really hard. His basic skills are really good for getting some damage out very early in the fight. This Gojo is especially excellent because he does not have a turn limit, so he never really has to disappear from battle. He has attack nullification to self for 2 turns. Not as good as the other Gojos. They have like attack nullification for at least 4 turns, if not like the entire battle. But yeah. Skill 1, physical and curse technique. I'm sorry guys, y'all know how this Gojo works. If you're watching this right now, you have definitely looked up a video on a Gojo showcase or some shit, or watched somebody summon Gojo and use them right after. Like, I'm not gonna get too bogged down in the details on this one. And honestly, I only got bogged down in the details for domain expansion for Shigeru because I didn't have him and I kind of wanted to refresh myself. But honestly, I feel like me and everybody else, even if you don't have him, you know what he does. I feel like you're at least looking at him, right? This one is a buff skill. It resets his attack nullification. It doesn't reset it, but it gives him more attack nullification. And once you do this, he goes into a special state, and then in the special state, he can disclose his curse technique, which makes him do more damage and more crit rate. This skill right here is just a strictly cursed energy move, no physical technique incorporated in it. It is ranged, which is fine. I think that melee attacks hit even in darkness, but ranged attacks can't, or everything might miss, right? Then his ultimate is going to be max output, or I'm sorry, Jujutsuki Hanten. Oh, that's just means curse technique blue, but that's not the full name. Curse technique laps maximum curse energy output blue. This hits every enemy. Obviously, it's 5 hits. It's always hard. I hate the visual clutter on this skill. As powerful as it is and as cool as it is that he does it, I hate the visual clutter on the skill because it's always hard for me to track the damage afterwards. But all just very high damaging skills. Like, Gojo characters are very basic, very high damage characters. The first Gojo to not be a very basic high damage character is Domain Expansion Gojo, which even still you guys just know about him just because he's Gojo. The page that we're giving to Gojo is, and guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, I also kind of ran through Gojo because I'm kind of strapped for time right now. I want to get this video concise and packed down and not be an hour long. But this right here is Anyway Let's Have a Cola. When you use it on your ultimate, it gives you 90% extra attribute damage if you are yellow. So basically a yellow specific non-standard in my opinion. And when your ultimate is full, it also gives you 20% break damage increase to self for 1 turn. So very good. Mine backline character is Nobara. Y'all know how Nobara works. Nail debuff, stack the nails, use the ultimate, do a lot of big stupid damage. If her health is low, this skill does a lot of extra damage. All of her skills level 8 right now. Pretty much I get all the skills to a base level 3. When I'm really considering working on a character, I will go ahead and just get all their skills up to level 8. So that way when I really want to get the actual, you know, most use out of them, most growth out of them, okay, it's just a few more steps to get those level 10 skills and stuff like that. The buff skill also very good. Nobara's kit is a tiny bit weird in my opinion how she works, because it's like this buff skill doesn't get to get utilized as much as you possibly want because the way that all her skills and like counters stagger and everything. But nonetheless, Nobara is still an incredible DPS to this day. You have a very high chance of having her just because she was in the original banner when the game started. And she's not a bad idea to work on, I don't think. I mean, you see mine's 5-star, mine's grade 11, mine's 103 out of 109. I'm essentially keeping her like up to date. I'm still planning on using her. She is a backline, of course, but there is a merit in your backline as well, because sometimes the characters in the front are not going to last the entire fight. And in an event where you're focused fully on damage and killing the enemy as fast as you can, I'm not worried about bringing units to preserve my team. I'm worried about bringing a bunch of beat sticks, don't be weird, a bunch of beat sticks that once, you know, the first one dies, you know, the next one's coming in and they're hitting even harder, right? Also, this page is not the page that I'm using for Nobara. It was just up there because of the event that I was farming. I've been using this team for the event and I had Gakuganji in the back. But Pride is the page that I'm using for Nobara. Y'all know how Pride works. Gives you a 65 or 60% curse technique increase, and you can do it every 5 turns. So you can stack that 60% on top of itself and get like 120%, which is really cool. Then this one right here, when the turn starts, if health is no more than 50%, can be used only once in battle, plus 30% damage dealt increase. So for very specific times in the battle, you can actually have some extra little damage dealt increase. But guys, that is the breakdown of the team. Now we are going to go over some subs. And after we go over some subs, since I've already gone over the recollection bits, we're just going to jump straight into the test. So guys, some sub units that I'm thinking maybe this Inumaki. I haven't even looked at any of his stuff changed. I just know he has one skill that's really good for increasing your break damage, so you may be able to work him into a comp where you may not have as good a DPS as Gojo or like Zone Yuji or Nobara. No, you'd have Nobara, right? So you might be able to work out a combo where you can use this Inumaki with his break damage and you throw Nobara in the mix. He has self-sustain, so he can keep himself healed up if he really needs to. And his ultimate... Oh, never mind. His ultimate doesn't debuff at all, actually. Yeah, no, he's kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, but it's just a matter of having that extra thing to give you extra break damage. It's like if you're not adding a DPS to your team to get the damage out faster, you need to be adding something that's going to polish your DPS and make them hit harder, right? But that's simply all I had to say about it. Like, I'm just starting to, it's like we've been playing the game long enough. I feel like y'all know mostly what these characters do, and honestly, if you're a brand new player, like, there are other videos for you to check out. If you're a brand new player, maybe, ooh, I'd like tier list. You know what, I'm not even gonna say it out loud in the video, because when I say it out loud, I just get the dopamine rush from saying it but don't do it. I'm like, oh, that's a cool idea, never do it, so I'm gonna just hold on to it. But I'm just gonna be running through these characters kind of quickly because we all know what these guys can do. Now, Yuji, you don't know what he can do, but this is the Yuji that I was explaining earlier. Comes out at the start of the anniversary, and he has the zone buff, and he can do additional attacks in one turn. The additional attacks are cool, yes. The zone being there kind of like built him up for me. The zone getting put on every other character that has Black Flash kind of took it down for me. But all in all, I would say that this Yuji is simply not worth the summon because out of all the major celebrations, like literally when you look at the half anniversary in the Japanese version, which is just hidden inventory for us, it's not even the half anniversary. When you look at the hidden inventory arc, right, for the Japanese version and us, we got Gojo first, then we got Geto second, then we got Toji last at the very end, and Toji is an absolute ghoul. But honestly, my views on Toji have changed a lot just because I'm just like, yo, I have Yuta maxed out now, and also I know Domain Expansion Gojo exists. So it's just like, Domain Expansion Gojo is a good DPS without even trying to be. But Zone Yuji I can't recommend just because his banner is the first of the anniversary, and I'm gonna be real, bro. The sensation in my spirit for summoning for Zone Yuji, not knowing that Domain Expansion Gojo is coming, and then seeing Domain Expansion Gojo come, and then instantly just throwing away my account that I had been working, like, bro, the account that I threw away to summon for Domain Expansion Gojo was my original JP account. If you look at any super old live streams, when I used to stream a bunch of different games, JJK Phantom Parade was one of those games, and the account that I threw away as soon as Domain Expansion Gojo came out was my original account. No remorse, not a care in the world. And I summoned Yuji in 2 summons on that account. I summoned Kaito on like 1 summon on that account. So I had Kaito and Yuji, like both of the new characters. Yuji was new at the start of the anniversary, Kaito was right before the anniversary started. Both very good characters. I had them both, and I was like, you know what, for Domain Expansion Gojo, I'm willing to throw that all the fuck away. So, I'm not gonna go over his skills and tempt you and tantalize you. I'm so sorry, guys. Y'all might want to know what his skills are, but again, it's already hard to fight temptation in a gacha game. I do not want to tempt y'all anymore by reading out his skills, because like y'all see these long ass like descriptions for his skills, so you know he does a lot, but I'm like, bro, I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's smart. It's not a good idea, because if you use your cubes right, say for instance you have enough cubes to pity one character. If I tell you that this Yuji is worth the shot, even though Domain Expansion Gojo is coming, all you're hearing is, okay, I got 7,500 cubes, but this Yuji is going to be so good that when I waste my 7,500 cubes, it'll be okay that I don't have Domain Expansion Gojo. I cannot promise you that. I cannot tell you that. I wouldn't even tell my enemy that to set their ass up for a trap. Domain Expansion Gojo is the answer. Best unit in the game. Best unit in the game. And you want to talk about damage? Fuck this Yuji. Sukuna, best damage dealer in the game. That's non-colored talk either. This Yuji will look really good on a yellow team. He probably look good on any team, to be honest, but he's not gonna look good as Sukuna. He's not gonna look as good as Sukuna, and plus, you can't run Sukuna and Yuji on the same team. So at that point, it's really just like, All right, bro, I'm summoning for Gojo indefinitely. Which Yuji am I summoning for? But are you really gonna pick the best damage dealer in the game who can solo all the formidable foes fights and get you to floor 50 of fucking tower? You're gonna pick this guy over him? No, you're not. So Yuji's not, unfortunate too, because I love Yuji. Yuji's a dog, bro. I read the manga and everything. Like, I'm attached to Yuji as a character. But Yuji is just not worth it right here in this case. And I thought he was, but when I saw the full scale of the anniversary, I just knew he wasn't. Sorry, guys. Then, last character, Yuki. These aren't even, that's crazy. Inamaki was the only sub, realistically. These two are like, yo, don't do it. Because this character is right before the anniversary. So he's right before the Yuji comes out. So all the things that I said, he is literally the exact same case. And also, guys, he's not limited. The Yuji is limited. So it's a little more understandable if you break and summon for Yuji. This man is not limited. We thought he was an anniversary character when he came out, but he came right before the anniversary. So not limited. When they do a second standard banner update, he will be added into it. So just hold your breath, wait. Because this Yuki is an attacker, first of all, not a supporter. He can still recover cursed energy for your team, but it's very specific the way that he does it. You have to make sure you're watching and preserving your cursed energy so that he has enough cursed energy to do it. So it's not as free cursed energy regeneration as the rare Yuki. So this one, I would say, fuck, we're still at 42 minutes any damn way, but I would say, yeah, this is just another skip as well. But guys, like, those are my recommendations for a team, right? You should work towards these characters, I think. Again, Yuki, very easy to get. Yaga, understandable if you don't have him, but he's out right now, and I understand if you do something for him. Domain expansion for Shigoro is going to come on the standard banner, no excuses. He is a necessary character. There was so much progress, even though all my characters are cracked, there was so much progress I could not complete because my for Shigoro, because I didn't have Megumi. Gojo, you probably already summoned for him, and plus, during the hidden inventory event, the banners rerun? They reran in the Japanese version. I didn't even know that. But the banners are going to rerun. So maybe you can circle back around and get lucky on Gojo Part 2. Who knows? But guys, there's no pity right now, so I don't know if I can even recommend that. And then Nobara is just piss easy to get. Everybody has Nobara. This is a free-to-play page. Like, the team is easy to craft, guys. The only one that'll give you some difficulty is Gojo and Yaga. Team is easy to craft, though. The sub Inamaki, and guys, I was gonna put Junpei as a sub as well, just so you know, because the subs list felt very short. I was gonna put Junpei as a sub, but I thought about it. Junpei is more of a defensive capability type of character. I actually don't think Junpei is bad anymore. I think every character has a use case, has their merits, right? But Junpei is literally just a defensive character. He has the DLT, but it's not enough, I don't think, for that game mode for Cursed Sweep Battle. So I just don't think that he's going to be a wise switch out. This Toto, I'm pretty sure has, where is he? This Toto, I'm pretty sure has like break buffs or something like that. Let's see. Increases his break damage, but that increases his own break damage, not everybody else's. So don't know if you really want to try that out. And maybe he works if all the other units around him are absolutely, you know, cracked. But I already have my lower rarity character of choice. I feel like you want to usually limit your team to one lower rarity character, and my choice of that is Yuki, because Yuki is so godly that boy energy on SSR for real. It don't matter. But yeah, let's go find an event to test out, and yeah, we'll meet right back up. So guys, fortunately, the event for Yaga right now is actually type advantage, or yellow is the type advantage. So I'm gonna test the team out in here, but it's literally gonna be an easy peasy scrub run. So I am going to do something else after this, but let's go ahead and just hop into this first. Now guys, I'll preface this with, I have not seriously used this team yet. I literally just put it together and was like, okay, Yaga's here. And I'm working on a different team right now. That's why I haven't used this team, but we're going to go ahead and just go with the cursed energy. I'll go ahead and hit this debuff right here. I'm not going to use Yaga's page just yet. I want to see what the ultimates do all together, I guess. So I should actually just stick to basic skills. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'll just buff with Gojo. I don't want to do too much damage at all, so we're just going to let Yaga be the main star of the show for damage at least. Because you can see that Yaga's damage right there just already wiped away the boss's break gauge just a tiny bit. So it's just honestly, no, we gotta save that. Let's do this honestly. Because how much does this debuff stack? This debuff stacks for 3 turns. So you know what? Yuki's here constantly giving us energy, so I am just gonna spam that skill over and over again. And then we're gonna buff with Gojo. We cannot, I repeat, we cannot hit with Gojo too much damage. Yaga's actually doing a pretty good amount of damage himself, and I'm somewhat scared that Yaga is going to end up accidentally doing a bit too much damage with his ultimate, especially with the buff from Yuki. Wait, his ultimate is actually, isn't it cursed energy and physical based? Oh, his curse technique, or his ultimate is actually more physical based. So we should be able to just do enough damage, maybe to break the boss, but not kill him. Honestly, Yaga's about to break right here because he keeps debuffing. Oh, okay, never mind. Okay, cool. But you see the damage he's doing by himself. Like, this man's a debuffer, bro. And if his debuff is so strong that the damage he's putting out is crazy, I'm just kind of like, yo, I'm excited to see what Gojo's about to do here. Okay. Probably 2 more turns to get all the ultimates up. He can do whatever he wants to do. That's fine. I'm not really concerned with what the cursed spirit is doing. Let's, oh, yeah. Let's use that again. Honestly, we're right there. But I'm going to win after this, so it doesn't matter to me. Okay. Basic. Good. No break. Okay. Okay. No break. Good. Okay. So, damn, this is taking a long ass time. Okay. Let's do the cursed energy battery. Let's do this again, this, and this. So not 2 more turns, but 3 more turns because Gojo likes to take his sweet damn time. All right, but now I am indefinitely just gonna be doing this debuff here just to make sure that I keep him at the stacks that I can keep him at. Okay. Okay, we're good. So we just got to break, and hopefully the front 2 don't kill, but, and the way that we'll know if the front 2 kills is if when I do their 2 ultimates alone, it says loading already. But if it doesn't say loading, then we're in business and we're going to get to see some really good damage numbers. Okay, so they don't kill. So 35% increase, plus the cursed energy increase, then an extra yellow damage increase, and then the enemy is taking more damage now. Okay, then we get Megumi's domain. This next part indefinitely kills though. Does Megumi kill by himself? Not quite, but basically, if I give him a damage dealing page, probably. Let's slow this down. How much damage is this? Oh my god. So Gojo did like 1.7 mil? Was that 1.7 mil? Oh! 8.7 mil damage? That was more than double his health. Wow, that was, nah, I can't front of you, bro. And this may, I could just be missing something. Somebody else could have already hit those type of numbers, but like, bro, it is not very rare. It's not very common that I hit those type of numbers like in an event. Guys, 9/12 is my birthday. That's a sign right there. But it's not very often that I hit those kind of numbers. Now I'm just gonna go over to the formidable foes battle and do whichever one yellow is type advantage against, and then that'll be it for the video. All right, guys, we're here for formidable foes against the Kyoto All Stars. This is type advantage, or yellow is type advantage against the stage. You can see the team's 10,000 weaker, but it doesn't really matter. We're gonna go ahead and hop into it. Now, guys, I'm not gonna be building up as much as the first one. I'm literally just gonna run through this as fast as I can, just to see how efficient the team is. I just kind of wanted to be a little more careful in that first little instance that we saw, just to see what damage was looking like as of right now with this, because the ultimate that I used was only level 3. The ult at level 8 and this skill at level 10. The damage is going to be way crazier, I think. Or not even I think, I'm certain. We're not going to waste that. But we will just go ahead and do this. And do this. This is probably a one turn. I'm thinking this is like a 1 turn phase right here. It could be, I could be wrong though. Debuff. Fushiguro. Oh? No, not quite 1 turn. Still very good damage and the darkness, so he took no damage. So really good. Just the turns just look good on this team, man. Like I gotta be real. I gotta be honest. I'm already glazing this team and I just started. Like this is my first time using them. And it's just such a nice experience. But I gotta be real. As opposed to using all the other teams for the first time, like the green team, it's good. It's a little wonky sometimes, but like this team, it's just, it's fire, bro. It's fire. I can't complain really. We're gonna use the AoE skill that I love so much, and then we're gonna use this on Miwa because Miwa's biggest dreams is for Gojo to touch her in a crazy way. All right, Miwa is cooked. Something about shooting my toes with a gat made me kind of salty. I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna use the basic skill. We're gonna use this on you because you like to play games and stun people and see how you like getting absolutely clapped. Or honestly, just break is fine. Oh no, she's just dead. Yeah. I mean, Yaga, look at that. Yaga was stunned for a turn, but it didn't matter because my constant 46% buff is always there. This is the beauty of Yellow Yaga, man. And if you guys summon for him, like, if you summoned for him and you didn't get him, bro, like, don't feel bad. Every person has their season. When I summoned for Domain Expansion for Shiguro and I didn't get him, and then I had to struggle and pay money through my Yuta summons, like, it felt so bad. But when I finally came back around and got my copy of Incomplete Domain Megumi, like, it felt so worth the wait. So it'll definitely come back around for you if you don't have Yaga right now. And hopefully you guys are getting lucky and like just getting blessed on Yaga, because my Yaga, I got him in 3 multis. Like the first multi I did on the Yaga banner with the free tickets, nothing in it. Second multi I did, which was also free tickets that I just farmed up, was, let's slow it down also for the damage again. Let's see how much damage he does on 2 enemies as opposed to 1. But my second summon was Gakuganji and Yaga's new page. Then my third summon was a Gojo animation for Yaga. And I said watch the video earlier, but I guess you deserve to know that information if you made it to the end of the video here. That was, oh, it didn't show me. Or it showed me, but it was all broken up into little, you know, it was literally in Fushiguro's domain, so I couldn't even read it. But guys, that is it for the Mono Yellow team. I think that this team is like highly impressive. I am very excited for showcases for characters in the future, because now I feel like showcase teams are, 1, just like the best buffers possible that you can think of, and then 2, maybe there's also another like composition of team that you can make where like all the buffers are color specific, and maybe you can get different results from that, or even get an entirely different play experience. But guys, that is it for your boy DEADMANVINCE. And also, again, I just want to say that if Billy sees this video and sees me calling them out on the fact that this says when you do Chimero Shadow Guarding, your energy or your skill, you still take up 15 cursed energy on this skill, or it says that you still take up 25 cursed energy on this skill, even though you only take 20 and 10 cursed energy on this skill, it's confirmed on the website. And also, that's what cursed energy efficiency means. Whenever you have cursed energy efficiency, that means that your skills are decreased in cost by 5. That's all that means. So the fact that this is displayed incorrectly on a character, this can lead people to think that Fushiguro is not as good as he is, and think that they have to dump more resources into him to make, like, there's all kinds of different implications. So guys, if this really is just incorrect information in the game, we need to hype up this video, get it to somebody's eye, because we deserve to be compensated for this. Because I know how Fushiguro works. I know how cursed energy efficiency works and everything as a JP player coming over to here. But as a brand new global player, you're going to read that and you're going to think that you need to work a little bit harder for Fushiguro, or maybe you're going to think he's not as good because of that. So guys, definitely pay attention to that. And if that is the case, comment down below on this video and say the dead man caught Billy, dead man catching Billies, I don't know. But guys, if you did enjoy the video, go down below, destroy that like button, destroy that subscribe button. Man, my energy is at an all-time high, and I really did enjoy recording this video for y'all. But I gotta head to work, man, so y'all have a good one. Peace out.